Jesse, thanks for joining us. And if I would have asked you at the beginning of the year, give me odds, Jesse, of the Golden Knights being in a predicament where they needed the last game or two to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it would not have been very high. I mean, this team not only have they made the playoffs 4 years in a row, but they've coasted into the playoffs all four of those seasons. I was kind of saying over the last couple of weeks, it was fun to cover a push for the playoffs because for the last 4 years, the last month of the season has basically been meaningless. They've been kind of just meaningless games. They're at the top of the division. They're well inside the playoff picture. We're just waiting for the playoffs to start. So, this season has been full of new experiences for this team.
Yeah, it's been new experiences, and it's been new as a hockey fan following along with Vegas. The soap opera has been real this year. What's the update on Robin Lehner? Sounds like he's out for the season. How did we get here?
Yeah, so he is out for the season. He's set to undergo shoulder surgery. I'm not sure when that surgery will happen, but he's not with the team in Dallas. He won't be at these last three games, so he's definitely shut down for the year. It's been an interesting weekend, I guess last 4 or 5 days. Robin Lehner was playing with two very serious injuries, the shoulder injury and a serious leg injury as well. And he had been playing on those for quite a while. And to be honest with you, just watching him on the ice, he didn't look even remotely close to the goalie that I know he can be and the goalie that he was when he first came to Vegas. He just wasn't moving, especially when he was down in the butterfly. He just did not have any movement down there. And a guy that made his career playing angles, being in the right spot, being a blocking goalie that takes away the net and lets the puck hit him in the chest, and all of a sudden he's reaching for everything. It was pretty clear that he wasn't healthy. Pete DeBoer laid the blame at his feet in the loss to New Jersey last week, and then played him against Washington, and then pulled him after the first period and told everyone he was healthy. And I think Robin was trying to play through those injuries. It wasn't working. He wasn't playing at his best. And when you're not playing at your best and your coach is kind of laying the blame on you and telling everyone you're healthy, it's easy to see how you can get frustrated. So after trying to play through those injuries, Robin finally decided the best thing was just to shut it down and get the surgery that he's needed for a while. Part of the drama of this week was the Golden Knights kind of denied that initially, and it was because they needed him to back up Logan Thompson in the game on Sunday against the Sharks. As to why, I'm still nailing that down. I was kind of hoping to have it nailed down before I came on with you guys, but I do have a story coming out here, hopefully in the next couple hours, that will explain it a little deeper. But it is believed to be salary cap related, which is not surprising considering all the gymnastics the Golden Knights have gone through this season.
So we are down to a hockey club asking a player who is unhealthy or injured to still play. Is this where the split is between Robin and management? Is that basically what we're looking at? Is a team asking a player hurt to continue to play and a player saying no?
I think to be honest, I think it's more complex than that. I think there's some intricacies there because it wasn't long ago in March that Frank Saravalli reported that Robin Lehner had a broken kneecap, and Lehner sought me out in the press box. He came and found me and told me, and then he did some lunges and showed me. He said, "Look, I don't have a broken kneecap. I'm not done for the year. I am going to play." I know Lehner made it known that he wanted it to be known he wasn't out for the season. So this isn't a player who suffered an injury and said, "Man, I don't know if I can go." And the team told him, "No, we need you. You have to play." Robin has wanted to play through these injuries. And in terms of the game the other night where he backed up, I do think it's a messy situation. A guy who decides he wants surgery and the team says, "No, we need you to back up one more game." But at the same time, I do think it's important to note that Lehner had played 9 games with this injury, and he had played a game just earlier that week with this injury. So it's not as if the team was asking him to, it wasn't a fresh injury and the team said, "Look, I know you're hurt. You can't go out there. We're going to need you to back up this game." If Lehner needed to go in that game, he could have. He had been playing on this same injury with the same severity for quite a while. So, yes, it's messy, but I also think there's some intricacies to this. It's not quite black and white.
Well, the new injury seems to be the emotional one that came from his coach saying he's healthy when he's not, which kind of exposes him, and then pulling him after giving up just one goal. Could those guys both be back together next year? Is the relationship between DeBoer and Lehner salvageable?
I don't know. As of right now, it doesn't seem that way. They're clearly at odds. Pete was asked this morning about Lehner. This is the first time this morning in Dallas. It was the first time Pete has spoken since the team announced Lehner would have the surgery. And Pete said the statement speaks for itself. I'm worried about the 20 guys who are here battling with me, which is not what you would expect from a coach at all. You'd expect him to say, we're hoping Lehners' surgery goes well. He's going to be a big part of this team moving forward, something like that. So, and I kind of contrasted it with. So, I use Mark Stone as another example because Mark Stone is another, like Robin Lehner, very talented player who is clearly playing through injuries and is not playing well. Mark Stone, since returning, has 0 points in 6 games, and that's obviously very unlike him. It's pretty easy to see why. When Pete was asked about Mark Stone the other day, he said, you know what, there's not much not to like. He's our captain. He's playing through. We know it's tough to jump back from injury this time of year where everyone's at game speed. That's the way a coach normally answers a question like that. Meanwhile, when he's asked about Robin Lehner, he says he's healthy, he's fresh, he's got full of energy. I really don't understand what Pete DeBoer has to gain to say that Robin Lehner is healthy while watching his starting goalie struggle, and it's clearly because of injuries. I personally don't know. Now, can it be salvaged? This is hockey. There's disagreements all the time. You guys, I mean, it happens on every team. Could they salvage it? Absolutely. Right now, it doesn't seem likely.
Does that not really fall on how their owner, Wild Bill Foley, takes all of this in? When you think about this hockey club from day one, their first season should have been this season, and it should have been the other way around.
Benjamin Button franchise. They're going backwards.
Now it's a tremendous disappointment for him who had Stanley Cup aspirations. Can everybody just fall under the we battled the injuries, look at our men down here, and we'll be better for it next season? Could that just be easily done and said, or somebody's job is on the line here?
Yeah, it's tough to answer because of, like you said, it's if the Golden Knights had this season and missed the playoffs, which it looks like in all likelihood, 95% chance, I think right now is what the Athletic has it at, that they're going to miss the playoffs. If that had happened with no injuries, it'd be pretty clear that there's going to be jobs on the line. The fact that there were so many injuries, and you can't really tell how much of this season's failures are because of the injuries, how much of it is because the team didn't play well even when they have been healthy here down the stretch. Healthier, I guess. They still have quite a few guys out. But the other thing is this team has a salary cap, a salary hit of $92 million. That's more than $10 million over the $81.5 million ceiling. So we don't even know what this team would look like if they were fully healthy, because they'd have to get rid of quite a few of these players, right, or one big player. So it's hard to say, well, if the Golden Knights were healthy, they would have made the playoffs. They would have been great. We don't even know what that team looks like. And we don't know what that team's going to look like next year, because clearly you're not going to enter next year with $92 million. So you've got to do some movement this summer, which they've had to do the last couple off seasons. So it's going to be interesting. What I do know is Bill Foley is very aggressive as an owner. He is not. I would not describe him as patient. He wants to win, and he wants to win now. And I think if you look at the firing of Gerard Gallant, if you look at some of the moves they've made over the last couple of years, it shows you that they will not sit on their hands and just hope that the team gets better. They have made big moves every offseason. So if this team doesn't make the playoffs, my gut tells me there will be a move of some kind. It's up to Bill Foley to determine, is the front office more to blame here? Is it Pete DeBoer? Is it just the players not showing up? It's going to be a tough decision for Bill, but I do think that if this team misses the playoffs, the most likely outcome is there is some kind of move made by Foley.